And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live. What an honor and a privilege to have these amazing young men who are shaping the future of this nation. Khaligraph Jones is in the house, BNMA Baraza, and Eric Wainaina. All three of them shaping the path that this nation is taking as we go past the second decade of this century, guys. Second decade is almost done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's a message here from Fred Obach Machoka, granddaddy himself, the blackest man in Black Africa. I remember growing up. So he says, great to see these three young men in the studio. Congratulations to you all. But he says, I have to give it up to Eric Wainaina. I remember when he sang Inchi ya Kitu Kidogo in front of Saitoti at Bomas of Kenya, when it was treasonable to do that. He says, I was the MC and I remember the discomfort it caused.
Well, and here we are 20 years later. Yeah. So people can't say that we forget, right? I mean, maybe the change isn't as fast as we want it to be, but slow change sometimes is not a bad thing. You know, it's sort of incremental, and we'll figure out where we're going. I don't know if I'm right about that.
Honestly, Eric, I don't think we're changing. That's the problem. I think to think that Inchi ya Kitu Kidogo is still extremely relevant today, and the problems you sang 20 years ago are still the problems we're facing today, is a worrying place to be in as a nation.
You're right.
We have to be extremely worried about the situation.
So we haven't learned.
Do you know lessons? Corruption is the only thing I learned from my parents, and like in a way that, you know, like you hear them talk about some relatives. Ule hajapata shule, na si mtoe kitu kidogo ingishwe nini backdoor. Like you even see your parents saying those things when it comes to something that's really like, you know, this is about me. Hauna passport na siwende hapo Nyayo usipatie nani kitu kidogo. Yani like hiyo ni hadi wa leo yani
na unapatia
nani mimi never. Lakini cheki, wacha yule mwenye hajawahi tenda dhambi au kwanza kurusha mawe. Hakuna Mkenya hajawahi peana hongo, hata nyinyi mna watch. Hii country imekuwa in a way that hawezi ishi kama hujai bribe. Unacheki?
And it's become normalized.
So it's a sad thing.
Papa Jones,
so
it's become normalized.
What would you reckon we do now? What is the solution now? Can we talk about solutions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Now, I want to listen to you now. BN is talking about how things haven't changed.
Yes.
You're talking about how change is gradual. Now, what do you think is this?
The solution is the youth.
The youth.
We are the solution. Okay, and it's not I'm not trying to be philosophical right now.
Martin Luther.
But we have to understand that we're the majority. We have to understand that we make the decision. You know, our parents are born with a cancer of tribalism and all these things that are happening now. This is our folks' generation. But we owe it to Kenya to be the generation that's going to rescue this sinking ship. So it's on how we vote. It's on how we talk about, you know, our rights, like what Kaka has done right now. It's on being relentless in our pursuit for excellence as Kenyans. Because Kenyans need to look for excellence. Mediocrity is what's in office right now everywhere. Like not being given a service in this country, going to a government office and someone hapo amekufuria tu is a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? So this new generation, this current generation, us guys now, we need to stand up and seek excellence. Be Eliud Kipchoge in everything you're doing. If you're an accountant, be an Eliud Kipchoge accountant. You know, if you're a singer, be the Eliud Kipchoge of singers. Be the Eric Wainaina of football. You know, be the best. Seek excellence.
But for now, Eric, we're satisfied with mediocrity.
Yes, we are.
Right?
We are. Everywhere you go, I mean, friends of mine were telling me about being in college, like in University of Nairobi, lecturers not showing up, right? I mean, these guys are like, the lecturer doesn't show up and someone called up the lecturer and said, where are you, right? The guy comes to school the next day and he says, who is it who called me, right? And no one puts their hand up. Mistake number one. Mistake number two, he says, if you guys don't take this thing any further, I'll give you all a passing grade.
And of course they agreed.
And of course they agreed.
They're happy, to get a passing grade.
Kenyan style.
You know?
That's Kenyan style. That's our stuff.
This is someone who is doing their masters in journalism here, right? I wonder what it's like. Is it like that maybe in med school? And if it is, we're in trouble. Is it like that in architecture school, in engineering school? Then we're talking about
buildings are falling.
You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Bien is right. We just we have to say, we're not doing this mediocrity thing, you know. One of the things that I really believe in, if you want more in your life, you've got to be more, you know.
No.
You can't expect to have stuff given to you, you know. You just have to be.
And I like how you elaborate things. Bien, you said we have to be wise when it comes to voting, right? So that's the only way we'll see change, right? But we all know that. I think it's general knowledge at this point. It's a two-horse race. So does it mean that because, for instance, I'm going to use this as an example.
Go on.
Since we saw Jubilee, they didn't deliver. So does it mean that next time you have to vote for NASA or what do you mean?
Yeah, you know, it's almost as if you have to pick the lesser evil.
Yeah.
And so that's what we need to do right now. You know, there were other candidates also who had brought their candidature forth. I'll be honest, man. Now, I'm not here, but in any way, I don't agree with everything he says. But Miguna told us about Sonko, told us about Kidero, told us live about PK. He just said it like as it was.
And we laughed at him.
At the time, people
laughed at him.
He trended. He was abused.
Yeah.
You know, like we always used to look at him like the madman who's just the life of the party. Like when, okay, we are focusing on these guys, but this guy, we just put him here for aesthetics.
Yeah.
But right now, everything he said is coming to pass. The truth is like a fart, better out than in. So we need to make sure.
Hey, you're dropping quotes today, bro.
We need to.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, I've never heard that one, man.
I've never heard that one
The truth is like a fart.
Hey,
Better out than in. We must, like, and it stands the test of time. Man.
Yes.
The place will stink, but it's the truth. Kaka now has just farted. Now it's stinking, man.
Yes.
Because it's the truth.
Yeah.
The truth stinks, man.
By the way, back to Miguna. I mean, we laughed, like you said, he was like the village idiot.
Yeah.
We laughed at him, and yet now we're looking back and saying, that guy was right, man. That guy was right.
I mean, it happens all the time that people we laugh at, you know, ends up being the people who have sort of the most truth, you know.
Yeah.
It shocks me though that I mean, like we were talking earlier on about the situation right now with the governor, you know. And I mean, so I put out this tweet.
Oh, okay. Speaking of your tweet, can I read it? Do you mind?
Please do.
Okay, here is the tweet. I think this is the beginning. Is that the beginning of it?
That is it.
Because it was a long tweet, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Eric Wanena says, I never want anyone to be treated with indignity, even though if this was an eye for an eye, we should be lining up to slap you like you did on video to a free Kenyan. Then you went on to say, I wish for you that you live a life of dignity with books, television, conjugal visits, regular visits, no fleas, no vectors of any kind, but in jail for a period that fits the crime. And then part 3 was, and for all those tweeting in support of you, claiming that you've been abandoned, I say, not to worry, we'll go for your political enemies too. Here's a song you can dance to in the meantime. Wow! Who is that addressed to?
Sonko. But it's part of it's part of my campaign for us to start talking about prosecution for all leaders who have abused office. Abuse of office actually boils down to, are you using your position, right, to make yourself wealthier? It's the same thing that Trump is being impeached for right now.
Yeah, as we speak, by the way. As we speak, today,
right?
yes.
And it has become normal in Kenya, right, for high-ranking politicians, it goes all the way to the top, right, to benefit personally from the position that they've been elected for, right? But we can't go on like this, you know. We've reached breaking point, you know. I mean, when you see this guy who had to literally steal his baby out of Kenyatta Hospital. Wow. When you get to things like that,
smuggle your baby out.
When you get to points like that, what are we saying
about us?
You know, I mean, we drive through slums every day. You know,
yeah.
People
and we see
like potholes.
Like, you know,
like we are used to those things. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like we get too comfortable in mediocrity as a people.
Yeah.
And I see it even like as an employer. You know, sometimes you want to give the youth jobs, but someone comes to work when they feel like. When you leave the office, everyone just slouches and nobody's working. I've seen those situations. I've had to do a lot of pruning to get to the best of the best. But you know, like, is it about the quality of education we are getting? I don't know what it is. But as the youth of this country, we seek excellence.
But Khaligraph, let me ask you this. I mean, everybody wants to be you guys overnight.
Oh, you don't.
They do. They want to be us overnight, and they can't do that. And I said this the other day. I was talking to Kenyan.co.ke. I said, hard work. There's nothing like hard work. Khaligraph,
True.
Where you have come from.
Yeah. First of all, Bien, I think if that's what the people you've hired do, then they're lazy people. I think at this point, people already know where Khaligraph hails from.
Yes.
I done talked about that constantly on my music.
Correct.
Kayole 1960. I say that every time, and at some point, people used to make fun of me when I say that. They were like, yo, because you're from Kayole, there's a certain way you have to present yourself and the way you look like, oh, so you probably a wannabe, you know, all those things were said. Yeah, but, you know, when you're in this line of work, you have to develop a tough skin because, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And until you start shining, I can tell you this for free, B. They told me, you know, prominent people out here, you know yourself, they told me, Khaligraph, you're never going to make it. Your music is never going to blow up. No one is going to call you. I'm sitting right now with these two OGs and the legendary presenter, Jeff. You know,
Respect the OG.
Yeah, this is nothing to be taken lightly, you know? So, what was I saying, man?
You were saying, you know, people said you would never make it.
And yeah, they told me all that. They criticized me, and right now I have elevated to a position whereby I'm a man of influence. Anything I say right now, I have my people, and they'll listen to me, because I mean the medium ya could relay information, you know? Yeah. I went to America, I was nominated for Afrima, I won. The other day went back to Nigeria for another Afrima, I won. And now they come back. They come like, oh, this is our guy. This Khaligraph, thank you so much, Khaligraph. You're representing Kenya. So the message, the moral of the story is that do your thing. Even if they criticize you at this point, maybe because you ain't making so much moves, Yanajua, when it's your time to shine, they definitely gonna get in the
Nobody can stop you. Let me ask you this, Khaligraph, because Eric said he's gonna stick to his lane. He would never think of running for office. Would you think of running for office?
I think all that depends with the times and the situations.
Okay.
When I go back,
so you're not ruling it out.
Yeah. I can't say I won't do it. Because when I go back to Kayole and I see the way the reception from the people, the way they receive me, and how they treat me, then I see a possibility of wanting to take that route.
Papa Jones announces 2022.
Bien, what about you, man? What about you?
Nah, never ever, guys. Guys, Maze, I love my life. I love my wife. And I plan to live a very, very peaceful life. And to be a politician, you must lie. I don't want to lie.
You lie for
Enough said.
I don't want to lie.
Eric.
Well, we can't add to that. What do you say?
Yeah, you must lie. You must tell everybody, oh, I'll bring you a stadium.
Yeah.
I'll bring you this.
Yes.
I mean, if I can't deliver that, but honestly, on a deeper level, I think there are still ways of how I can impact society. Yeah. Not only through my craft, but with the influence that I have to bring better resources.
Sure.
To the youth around me, and to give artists a platform.
Would you guys vote for me if I stood for something?
It depends.
What
is it?
And what are your policies?
Yeah,
what do you want to do, Jeff?
Actually, Jeff,
what's your stand on education? What's your stand on health? What's your stand on gay rights?
Yes.
Okay. I'm standing right now.
So you tell us.
Hey, umeenda gay rights when mbaya man.
Come on, man.
MC Rumors. I'll get back to you on that one, Eric. MC Rumors says, great conversation. Music is the voice of the voiceless. It reflects what's happening in the society. Salute King Kaka, Eric Wenena, Khaligraph Jones, Bien. Time for people to wake up. Now watch your jinga.
Nice one. Can you read us a bad tweet?
Coming. Give us whatever you have.
Hey, why do you think it's a bad tweet?
No, I don't say. No, people.
Negative. Warnix December says, art reflects what's in society. Artists should use their voices to condemn evil and give credit wherever it's due. I'm happy that King Kaka has joined the likes of Lucky Dube, Oliver Mtukudzi, your friend, your late friend, Ken Sarawiwa, yes, Dennis Brutus, etc. in positive activism. And Oliver Mtukudzi did it for decades,
Decades, man.
against that regime of Robert Mugabe. Remember?
Yeah, for sure. You know.
He never relented. Manyara Kennedy says, what King Kaka did is to remind us that we're all blind, learned fools. Most of us know what is going on in this country, and we continue condoning and supporting the same. Rabbit the King is the most brave, I guess the bravest Kenyan. Facing the alligators with facts is no joke. Viva, bro.
Nice one.
Alrighty, more tweets coming in thick and fast. Alice Megui says, all Kenyan artists kindly come together and do a follow-up song. Kenyans are behind you. Be bold and use your voice for change. We need leaders in this country who are mature enough to listen and accept truth.
Can I ask, Jeff, can I say something to that effect? As you're asking Kenyan artists to come together and do a follow-up song, Eric has done a song, I've done a song, Oji has done a song, and Kaka has now done a song. I just want to say now it's also time that accountants have a voice, that camera guys have a voice, slay queens have a voice, bar owners have a voice, because we are all part of a crippled system. So don't leave it up to artists. In your day-to-day lives, be the change you want to see.
Because they'll start cheering you from the sidelines, right?
Man.
And then when you get into the line of fire,
hata sasa Kaka kama wanaenda tao kura watapo hivyo nje ya parliament. Hebu tunasonga hapo atakuwa na yeye. Unacheki?
Case in point, Hong Kong.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
For how many weeks did that
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
demonstration
Hong
go on
Kong,
for?
Egypt.
It was months.
Sudan.
In Khartoum. They brought down Omar al-Bashir.
And those are young people who are doing these things. Okay, we're not here to stir anything.
No.
You know,
Just
what we're saying is,
yes, we are.
we just want
yes, we
people
are.
to.
I think you people fabricate matters so much. You're talking about a revolution, and some people tend to think that this is going to happen at the comfort of their keyboards.
their keyboard.
That's not how it happens. And I think it's only right. Mi emoji niko na ngoma tu, mi siogopi, mi ndawaambia. Hiyo kitu ifanyikangi kwa nyumba kadhe. Tunataka unaenda huko nje. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, so unanabia nikifika hapo anaongea na sauti ndogo.
Sio hivyo jini nimekwambia mimi ni newlywed mazee. Sasa inabidi mcheze chini.
Inataka watu wanaenda huko na nini.
Lakini mkisema tuende tunaishia. Yaani basically yenyewe
ukisema tuende tunaishia Buddha.
Khaligraph Jones, maybe God is going to open doors.
God is open doors.
So I'm standing on the stage.
Looking at the audience, I'm frightened. They told me that this thing was all exciting. All the attention I'm attracting on the mic and the hype and the buzz got me think about my life. When I'm through with this, who's gonna be next there? Been working hard, so I hardly take a rest there. I see you for, I can't even remember the words, but oh, to the Jesus.
Oh, God is going to
you like that song, right?
Love that song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
I remember. You was
Okay.
Yeah.
Boniface Aboy says, it's been a tough year for Kenyans. It could be better. Good conversation. Khaligraph, BN, Eric Renena. Let's hold politicians accountable. Everyone says the nice things. Everyone says the same thing. Who's going to take that bold step?
You know, that's the thing.
Oh, the king. The king has tweeted. Rabbit the King. It's him, right?
Oh, hey, Rabbit mazetu na kiche.
Oh, that's him. That's the one
Well
I just
done.
read. It's been a tough year for Kenyans. It could be better. Good conversation. Khaligraph, BN, Eric Renena. Let's hold politicians accountable. Let's Rabbit the King.
Wish you
So
were
he's
here,
in the
man.
program.
Yeah,
He's in the program.
What do you tell him? What do you tell him? Eric.
Wish you were here, but you do your thing, King Kaka. We're behind you 100%.
BN, what do you tell him?
You know, like when you in this point in time, you're under a lot of pressure. So you don't want to do interviews. You don't want to like say much because now you're scared. You feel like you've said enough. But you know, there's never enough because people need to be constantly reminded how to behave. We are human beings. So don't stop. Give us more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Jones, he's watching you, your friend.
Buddha, sini wase wa Islando, they have talked all the English they can. Lakini hata mimi ndakuongelesha venye si tunajua. Bu umetoka Kaloleni, mimi nimetoka Kayole. Oh, there's the camera. Thank you so much, my friend now. Gadhe, skuma, usiogope. Nilikwambia ukiogopa, tuko hapa hivi kukupatia support yani. And don't back down. Be consistent with the message. Na very soon utaona tu manze matokeo. Ama vipi my friends? Yeah.
Well done.
Lakini pia kaka mazee, please mazee, anajua hiyo doni fiti, lakini usifanyiwe ile kitu ya tuliona Kibra juzi, usiingie siasa mazee. Tupiganie huko nje.
Alafu, like Eric said earlier on, King Kaka, you're watching. I wish you had been here yourself. You know, this opportunity doesn't come every day, right? It doesn't come every day.
No, not to be
JKL doesn't happen every day, my brother.
Yeah.
This would have been a great moment, but like Eric said, it's okay. It's up to you. More tweets. Keegan here says, Khaligraph says, play Kenyan music, or the minute politicians put proper money on the table, will have no choice but to take it. So should voters too, who are receiving poor leadership, wait for election money to then re-elect the same leaders?
That is a very broad question. Could you narrow it down, please?
Is Keegan in a punctuation?
No.
Like, besides that,
Yes.
I think Keegan is trying
To say?
too hard to misunderstand what Khaligraph said. You know, what Khaligraph meant to say is if you play Kenyan music, you build an industry that creates employment.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sure that now the youth are going to be less gullible because they won't be given money when it's time for elections. So what he's trying to do right now, actually, is take us away from what we're trying. This is taking us away from cohesion. Please, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well done.
This is an SMS, by the way, from Sir Nixon Dugire in Kindaruma. Gentlemen, would you consider King Kaka as having set the threshold in terms of stirring Wanjiko from slumber and equally doing it, in brackets, harder? Has he set the precedent? Has he woken Wanjiko up, Eric?
I think he has. But you know, that's the thing. Wajiko is never asleep. Right?
Yeah, she wakes up at 4 a.m.
She's always working,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And what it is, and it's there's a spotlight on what Kaka's done right now, aptly so, because he's just put the words and the thoughts of people he's put it out there, right? But Wajiko's never asleep, and this is the thing. Also in line with what Khaligraph was saying, politicians benefit from keeping us poor, because when they keep us poor, you show up with 200 bob at a rally and people will vote for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And exactly what Ben is saying as well, right? Give us the respect that is due, play the music that is due, and we won't have to fall into those traps, you know? And it's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
But I tell you people, the revolution is ongoing. It hasn't just started,
Man.
right?
Yeah.
It's caught a particular fire right now, and it's just going to go on.
And that's
There are
what-
many triggers to a revolution.
Right. And the consistency of this, is it going to continue, or is it, like I said earlier on, guys, 2 days from now, we'll be into Christmas week?
That's what I'm saying. So it
You know
depends.
what I'm saying, man?
This is highly dependent on what Kaka is willing to do and how much he's willing to push the
And
envelope.
other kakas.
And how much other artists are willing to jump on board. Yeah. Like it's an ongoing conversation that's never going to end.
Okay.
You know, one song is never enough.
Papa Jones, you agree?
Yeah, I'd say the same. But like at some point you talked about how this responsibility,
Kila msee.
it's everybody's responsibility. So it all comes down to us. How much are we willing to push for this, you know, after the conversation dies? So it's everybody's
You know,
responsibility.
and you never know how a thing catches fire all the way, right?
Right.
As like you might think it's some big thing like, a demonstration somewhere or something. It's going to happen that someone will be number 3, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple stop number 3, right? And then fracas
An incident, An incident triggers. You know, there's so many triggers to revolution,
Sure.
and the truth doesn't pick which vessel to get out through. It picked Kaka this time. Next time it will use Gideriman. Next time it will use, you know, the truth has ways of revealing itself to us through different incidents. So next time, it could be what Eric is saying. It could be Mazee Makanga wamechoka tao.
It's only 2 years before we have the next
2 years
I
away.
want to see how things are going to be.
2 years away, bro.
In terms of
Nataka kuona venye
development,
not development wise, but the people. You know how.
But also, Khaligraph, we can't keep on doing the same thing
Yeah.
and expect different
Different
results.
results.
Yeah.
Right? It's always the thing. It's always a personality comes up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, that's my guy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And everyone's like, no, let's give this person a chance, you know? I mean, like right now, everyone's saying, let's give the deputy president a chance. But he's already been accused of so much corruption, right? Why is it going to be any different?
because it's not a dynasty. We are trying
Right.
to go away
Yeah.
from dynasties.
Right.
Yeah, and then they
Husband
said,
So now we are
nation.
going to jump into something totally different that is also not, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys who like, you know, there's candidates actually who have some amazing points, even for president. You know, like,
Sure.
there's people who have good things. Well, like Kiapi last time had a proper manifesto.
Yeah. Mukisa
He was
Kitui.
sober.
We always talk about those
Mukisa
guys.
Kitui is a sober guy.
Yes.
Who is this nani governor of Ukambani, this guy who's doing an extreme
Kivuta.
Kivuta Kibwana watu wa Young mazee angalia ni jamaa.
Yes.
Jamaa anatesa.
Yeah.
So we need to like also focus on such leaders and see how as a people, the same way we said, okay, 24 years is enough. Now we want out. We tukaungana and we voted Moi out. Now we actually just need to do that. But young people need to identify someone who is also reaching for what they're reaching for. Excellence.
Papa Jones, final thoughts. Who are you looking at, man?
Man, I'm trying to look at myself on the camera, bro. This camera, man. I'm trying to ensure that they get the proper view of the face, you know? Yeah, OG.
Respect the OG.
Respect shall be respected. One time, let me just say that I'm grateful to be in here today, having an opportunity to sit down with these wise men. 3 wise men. Thank you so much for that. Because King Kaka is the reason we're here today. I think it's only right that I, personally as the OG, I say this during the commencement of the interview, so I'm going to say it again. I want to commend you for your good work. You sparked a debate, you sparked a conversation, you got the whole nation talking. This is not a matter that can be taken for granted. Nothing of this sort. Eric did it back in the days. We ain't had social media the way we have it right now.
Correct.
So he took it on to a different level. And I feel like that's something that we need to encourage and tell you, in case you need me for anything, you got me, you got my support, and God bless you, man. All good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Bien?
I honestly feel like if you're a young person in this country who's trying to do honest business and live an honest life and an honest living, you can feel me when I say that it's been a difficult year. You know, we deserve better. But you know, let's not forget, in times of peace, to prepare for other moments in our lives when we actually need to make the decisions that are going to take us forward. So 2022 is around the corner, but the 2 years goes away really fast. I just need you guys to be sober thinkers when the time comes. But we'll continue reminding you, because that's the work of art.
I like that. Eric Wanena, you get the final word. And by the way, before you do that, you know the show is good when the competition is watching.
Oh.
Okay.
Sophia Wanuna is loving the show. And she says hi to all of you. You know the show is good when the competition's watching. Eric, you get the final word.
Okay, I say, let's take corrupt politicians to court. Let's jail them. Tuwafunge, jameni. They are merely human beings. We can do this.
Enough said. Gentlemen, happy holidays to all of you. Thanks so much.
Oh, Merry Christmas, guys, maze. I know you make a Christmas ngumu, lakini enye Merry Christmas to you Kenyans, maze. You guys have been shujas this year. You guys have worked hard. Wale tulianza mwaka tukiwa wengi, lakini ni wengi sana kumaliza pia.
By the way, if someone just switched on their TV right now and saw these 3 guys, they're wondering, how do they sing? So why don't you just do a Christmas song and you guys just get, do it together?
Sijui maze. Oji wewe unatambua Christmas.
OG, you can rap in there, man.
You know, people
Go on, Eric, start them off, man. Eric, start them off.
Silent night.
Holy night. All is calm. All is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child.
OG, you ready?
Holy infant, so tender and mild.
He's gonna say it was a silent
Sleep
night.
in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly.
Go, OG, go on.
Man, there's no way I
Say,
get.
it was a silent night.
I didn't green niggas in your bio, maze.
Oh, well, Mini G, I ain't gonna leave this show without kicking one of my,
Go on.
known verses.
Go on.
One of my biggest tracks.
Go.
So I'm gonna do that song called Ngori.
Oh,
And I'm gonna
read.
Nini sindio?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Usichoche venye unaweza kuleta ngori, ukileta ngori, huku ni ngori jo, unatembeza kishori shori, kesi na ojini horibo, mori yo, kumbuki juzi nini ilifanyika kwa korido, lijaribu kuzua ngori, kumbe nilikuwa nisha kutoa porido, sorry bro, atuko kimoja, sami niko kategori, so, niko na kina sakodi, kao na copy, then I just told you so, no worries though, testimony imefanya nijue sagoni, so, 90% of you rappers bado muna si muna shori, can't know the flow.
Oh!
I'm so happy I'm not a rapper, Jeff.
Freestyling.
Nice one.
Khaligraph Jones, BNMA, Baraza, Eric Wainaina. Gentlemen, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. And let's carry on into 2020. There's a momentum now, guys.
It is.
It's up to you,
It's a movement.
and it's up to you. That's it.
It's a worldwide movement.
Thanks so much for being a part of JKL. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JK Live. Good night, good luck, God bless Kenya.